They call it Mo Day, a time of fanfare and pride, and another week with the neighborhood's best yard, because you drafted the MVP of all mowers. A comfortable seat and adjustable controls bring the battle to your turf, not your backside. Ride like the wind on your solid steel stallion and give the fans something to cheer about, because it's your day. It's Mo Day.
At Smith & Wood Wealth Management, we're proud to be part of the Rome community, where the same teamwork that wins on the court inspires our approach to financial planning and investment. Just like the model high school Blue Devils and Lady Devils, success starts with a solid game plan. Like a trusted coach, we provide insight and guidance so you can pursue your financial goals with confidence. The Smith & Wood financial planning process centers on understanding your unique goals and creating strategies that balance enjoyment today with preparations for tomorrow's challenges. We would love to work with you to build a game plan for the season ahead. Welcome to Shannon Pharmacy, proudly serving the Shannon community since 2004. We're your small, full-service pharmacy with a big heart, offering friendly professional service and a caring community feel. Whether you need prescriptions filled, expert advice, or health products, we're here for you. Experience the difference at Shannon Pharmacy, where your health is our priority. Visit us today.
If you ever find yourself moving through these doors,
we're gonna take care of you.
If you ever hear these sounds, or see these lights, may you find our caring team of ER experts all around you. This is the human spirit at its best. Advent Health. Feel whole.
WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber and Tree Service.
You have to be tough to be the world's #1 selling farm tractor. Mahindra tractors have a tough, heavy-duty steel frame, so they can lift fallen trees and everything else thrown our way. And you're tough, too. You maintain roads and mend fences and give your neighbors a hand and still make it to church on Sunday. Now that stuff sounds like we have a lot in common. Mahindra, the official tractor of tough.
At Northwest Georgia Media, we're all about capturing the moments that matter to you. From sports to arts, from concerts to business events, we're equipped to share what's happening in your world, live and in high definition. We leverage cutting-edge technology and a knowledgeable crew to see that your most unforgettable events remain just that, unforgettable. Northwest Georgia Media, where the world is your audience. High school basketball coverage begins now. This broadcast is produced by Northwest Georgia Media and WLAQ Radio. Coverage is also provided on the Southeast Sports Network. You're watching high school basketball action.
Well, thank you very much, Lenny B. Back at Command Central at the foot of Alto WLAQ. I am Matt Davis to bring the call of Model and Bremen basketball. We've got girls varsity coming up first, followed by boys varsity between these two programs. It's a battle of the Blue Devils. So we'll be calling them Model and Bremen tonight instead of by their mascot names, but we're excited about these matchups, and of course these are rematches from games that took place in region play earlier in the season. We'll dive into that coming up in just a few minutes. But again, the Model Lady Devils and Bremen Lady Devils to lead things off here in less than 15 minutes. Two teams that are having really good seasons so far. We'll start with the Bremen Lady Devils, who are here on the road. They are 15-1. They've only tasted defeat one time this year. They're 6-0, leaders of Region 6 Class A Division I. And then right behind them in second place is the Model Lady Devils, who are 11-6 overall this season, 5-1 region play. Their only loss of the season in terms of region play was a defeat that they took at the hands of Bremen on the road early in the year on December the 5th. That was a 52-18 game, and so they're looking for some revenge here tonight. And again, we're going to dive into more detail of that game and this matchup as we go along throughout our pregame. But we do want to let you know that radio coverage tonight is presented by Mathis Trailers and Equipment Sales. Video sponsors tonight. Instant replay will be brought to you by Smith and Wood Wealth Management. Also, Mathis Trailers and Equipment Sales on the video side, as well as Snodgrass and Robinson Plastic Surgery Specialist, Advent Health, Redmond, Shannon Pharmacy, Dogwood Books, the Herb Shop on Broad, and Duffy's Deli. And we'll talk about the crew in our next segment as well. But we're just getting started here. We had a thrilling JV girls game just before this one that went overtime. And unfortunately for the Lady Devils, they came up a little bit short in that one, 37-35. But congratulations to Bremen's JV team and a hard-fought victory. And congratulations to both teams put on a show here tonight. It was a super exciting game, so the fans that got here early for that one were really in for a treat in terms of an exciting basketball game to get things going inside of Woodard Gymnasium tonight. Well, let's go ahead and step out for 3 minutes, a 3-minute timeout down the line, and then we'll come back and start to dive into more detail about our first matchup. It's the Model Lady Devils and Bremen Lady Devils up first, and it is going to be happening in about 12 minutes. We're back in 3.
You have to be tough to be the world's #1 selling farm tractor. Mahindra tractors are tough thanks to more built-in weight, so they can safely pull flex-wing mowers and rescue neighbors stuck in the mud. And you're tough too. You haul feed and pull a float on your hometown parade.
Let's pray.
And still make it to supper. Now that's tough. Sounds like we have a lot in common. Mahindra, the official tractor of tough.
Welcome to Shannon Pharmacy, proudly serving the Shannon community since 2004. We're your small, full-service pharmacy with a big heart, offering friendly professional service and a caring community feel. Whether you need prescriptions filled, expert advice, or health products, we're here for you. Experience the difference at Shannon Pharmacy, where your health is our priority. Visit us today.
Back in live here inside Woodard Gymnasium, home of the Model Blue Devils, as they get ready to host the Bremen Blue Devils tonight. We're going to start with girls varsity coming up in just a few moments. We mentioned the really solid record of Bremen coming in at 15-1 and 6-0 in the lead in Region 6A Division I, averaging 54 points a game. And man, they do not allow many points at all this season, giving up just 30 points a game. They've won 5 games in a row. We mentioned that they've only lost 1 game, and that loss was a 35-31 loss at Ridgeland earlier in the year. And Ridgeland is currently 16-1 and number 10 team in AAA. So that was a really, really good team that they lost to by only 4 points. So that tells you a little bit about the way this team has performed throughout the course of the season with a high level of consistency. So they are a good basketball team. When you look at their roster, it's not really deep, but all the players that they have on the roster really can play. And so no question about it that the Bremen Lady Devils and head coach Hunter Williams have something special this year. So this is going to be a tough test, no question about it. Now, we referenced earlier the earlier matchup in the season between these two teams. Bremen won that game 52-18, but a couple things to keep in mind about that early matchup. At that point in time, Model had just suffered some tough injuries to some of their key players, which took a little bit of time for them to kind of adapt and adjust to that type of situation. So I think this Model team right now is a lot more confident team, playing a lot better basketball than they were at that period of the season. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams match up tonight versus what we saw there in that first matchup on the road. I think it's going to look a bit different. We'll see what happens. Now, as far as the last games for each of these teams, for the Bremen Lady Devils, last Friday they were in action over at Pepperell, picked up a 58-28 road win there against a really good Pepperell team. So I think that says a lot about the consistency and how well this team has played throughout the year, how that has continued into recent weeks. Meanwhile, the Lady Devils, they were on the road and they put together a solid victory over Darlington at the Huffman Center. Final score in that one was 61-29. From what I understand, the Lady Devils shot the ball well from the perimeter in that game, which is something that we have not not seen a whole lot of throughout the course of the season. Their inside game has definitely been their hallmark in terms of the offensive production for this team. So if they can start hitting some shots from the outside as well as their strong inside game, that could really open up some things on offense for this Lady Devils team to help take them to the next level in terms of their ability to score. And of course, everything is going to start on the defensive side of the ball for this team. When you look at Model so far this year, averaging close to 48 points a game, and they're allowing only about 42 points a game. And I think that's a number that you're going to see improve as they continue to progress throughout the season. The Model Lady Devils have won their last couple of games and trying to look to build off that momentum going into, again, what should be a pretty tough matchup here tonight against the Bremen Lady Devils. Now, as far as upcoming games, once we get beyond this one, we'll let you know that coming up on Friday, it's going to be back on the road for a weekend game. That's going to be at Heard County. The girls are going to play at 6:30, boys at 8 o'clock. We will not have a live stream or radio broadcast of that one, so if you want to take that one in, you'll either have to tune into the Heard County broadcast, or better yet, wear your blue and go over to Heard County and root on your Model Lady Devils and Blue Devils. Next broadcast, as far as varsity is concerned, is going to be on Tuesday against Haralson County in this very gym at Woodard Gymnasium at 6 o'clock for girls, 7:30 for boys. It'll be a live stream and radio broadcast coming up for that one. As far as the radio is concerned, we're going to have some Georgia Tech hoops coming up for you this weekend on Saturday as Georgia Tech gets ready to host a really good team, the Clemson Tigers, who are having a great season this year. So that'll be a tough matchup down at McCamish Pavilion. 11:30 pregame for that one with a tip-off at noon. So as we've been telling you over the last few weeks, a lot of basketball for you on the live stream and then also on the radio airwaves of WLAQ for the foreseeable future. And we're super excited about that. So anyway, we're going to take another 3-minute break here in just a couple of moments just to remind you of where we are and what's going on. It's high school basketball night. We are inside Woodard Gymnasium on the campus of Model High School. It's a battle of the Blue Devils, starting with varsity girls coming up, and we are about 4 minutes away from tip-off. So let's step out for 3 minutes. We'll come back, and we will give you the starting lineups, have the national anthem, and then it'll be go time inside Woodard Gymnasium. Glad you're with us. We'll be back in 3 minutes to wrap up our pregame and get ready for the basketball game. Back in 3.
They call it Mo Day, a time of fanfare and pride, and another week with the neighborhood's best yard, because you drafted the MVP of all mowers. A comfortable seat and adjustable controls bring the battle to your turf, not your backside. Ride like the wind on your solid steel stallion and give the fans something to cheer about, because it's your day. It's Mo Day.
At Smith & Wood Wealth Management, we're proud to be part of the Rome community, where the same teamwork that wins on the court inspires our approach to financial planning and investment. Just like the Model High School Blue Devils and Lady Devils, success starts with a solid game plan. Like a trusted coach, we provide insight and guidance so you can pursue your financial goals with confidence. The Smith & Wood financial planning process centers on understanding your unique goals and creating strategies that balance enjoyment today with preparations for tomorrow's challenges. We would love to work with you to build a game plan for the season ahead. WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber and Tree Service.
back into the friendly and warm confines of Woodard Gymnasium as we get ready for model basketball tonight. Model Lady Devils and Bremen Lady Devils up first. We'll have the national anthem in a couple of moments. First, we'll recognize the crew for tonight's broadcast. Midcourt cameras, Bennett Abernathy and Clay Hardiker. Pan, tilt, and zoom, PTZ cameras and scoreboard tonight. It's going to be Levi Miller. Replay is Nathan Patterson. Director is Mike Garrett. I'm Matt Davis with play-by-play tonight, courtesy of WLAQ here in Rome, 96.9 FM, 1410 AM. We're online at WLAQ1410.com. That's how you can listen to us. And the board operator at WLAQ is Lynn Butler. Well, there's the buzzer. It's time to rise for our national anthem, then the starting lineups, and then the ball game. Here is your national anthem as we get you turned up with our crowd mic. Folks, let's give you the starting lineups, and then it'll be time to get things rolling inside of Woodard Gymnasium. And again, so glad to have you tonight, whether you're watching on the live stream or you're just listening on the radio tonight. We're going to start with the Bremen Lady Devils. We're going to start with number 3, Cindy Claire Redding, in the starting lineup tonight. Also number 12, Marley Derringer. Number 14, Kaylin Hubbard, who is a junior. Number 20, and that is somebody I do not have on my roster. We'll do a roster check on that here in a second with the PA announcer. And then number 35, Shelby Underwood, is in the starting lineup for you tonight. Now for your model Lady Devils. By the way, the head coach of the Bremen Lady Devils is Hunter Williams. We're going to start with number 1, Cam Sanders, for your Lady Devils. Number 3, Addie Mathis. Number 15, Sasha Wood. Number 21, Samantha Betts in the starting lineup tonight. And then number 25, Jada Wells, and that is your starting 5 for the Lady Devils. Of course, the model Lady Devils longtime head coach is Sally Eccles. Well, folks, we've got everything in except for one thing, getting this thing started. It is time for model basketball here tonight, and we're excited to be here. Of course, one of the things I know people are going to be watching over the next several days very closely is the weather forecast, see how it may affect life in general and schedules and things of that nature coming up over the next several days. So certainly something to keep an eye on. But right now we're ready to go with some basketball. The ball's in the air, and it's time for the ball game. The tip is going to go to Bremen. They will open up with possession of the basketball. Shelby Underwood gets it down low. They get it in the hands of Derringer. She knocks down the first bucket of the game, and Bremen scores in the first 10 seconds of play. Sasha Wood's got it for model. Now sends it to the right wing side. They want to work it into the corner over to Addie Mathis, trying to get it back up top. It is picked off there by Hubbard. Bremen goes back the other way. Now going to feed it up top. Working the perimeter, they go to the right side. Now going to go towards the lane. Little runner up, too strong. Put back, though, is going to fall, and converting the points was Shelby Underwood. Her first bucket of the game, and a 4-0 run starts the game here for Bremen as model tries to work around a little half-court pressure. Here's Sasha Wood, dribbles across the logo at center court, sends it left wing side. The pass came from Samantha Betts. Now back to Betts on the left wing side. Going to lob it up top to Sasha Wood. Now on to Cam Sanders. Open 3 on the way. That one's off the side of the rim. And it's a one-and-done trip there for the Lady Devils. The model Lady Devils. Got to be more specific tonight as we've got a couple of Blue Devils teams locking horns. I even thought about that before I came over here today. still messed it up in the first minute of the game. Here's Bremen with the basketball, going to feed it out around the perimeter, who have opened up the game on a 4-0 run. Want to lob it down low, put a little bit too mustard on it, missed the shot. And now the Lady Devils come back with the rebound, model variety, and bring it back the other way. Trying to lob it underneath to Sasha Wood, who was cutting towards the basket. But unfortunately, a couple of defenders got in there and picked off the pass. So Bremen brings it back the other way, working from left to right. Model is in their road blue uniforms with gray trim and letters and numbers. That one's going to sail over the rim. Model comes out with a rebound. Model in their white home uniforms with blue letters and numbers and red trim. So classic look for both teams. Both teams looking sharp. Right now, Bremen on top, 4-0. We've played 2 minutes of this one. Wood into the paint, trying to get it to the rim, and she's going to get fouled. And, you know, whether you make the shot or not, if you attack the rim, you can make some good things happen. And here, Sasha Wood has an opportunity to do just that with a couple of shots coming up from the free throw line. And so we get ready for Sasha Wood to fire up the first free throw. That one bangs off the back of the rim. She gets ready for the second. Model still is yet to put points on the board in this one. We've played about 2 minutes of the first quarter. One more coming up for Sasha as she gets ready to go through her routine, puts up the shot and knocks it down. That's the first point of the game for Model. That cuts it to a 3-point game. Bremen with the lob down to the right wing side. Now back up top. Wide open three in the air and through. And that was Hubbard who knocked down that shot, and Bremen is out to a 7-1 lead, their biggest lead of the game. Stolen away at half court. Bremen's got the ball back, and they are playing very strong on both sides of the floor. Shelby Underwood with the basketball between the circles. Going to hand it off to a teammate. They fire it underneath, another pass outside, fire it to the right wing side. Now going to work towards the basket, gets it towards the rim, gets fouled, and we're going to see free throw shots coming up here for Cindy Claire Redding. These will be the first free throws of the game here for Bremen. So we've seen a pair of free throws now for each team. 5:29 left to go, first quarter. Model and Bremen locking horns. Model trails by 6. That one goes off the back of the rim. A miss on the first free throw attempt of the game for Bremen. Substitution into the game for Model. Checking in for the first time is Georgia Womack. Second shot on the way, and that one's going to rattle in. So Redding knocks down the second of the pair, and that makes it an 8-1 game in favor of the leading Bremen Blue Devils. Womack now over to Betts as she tries to work her way across center court and around the pressure. Now to Sanders on the right wing, back up top to Betts between the circles. Starts to drive, little runner after a Euro step, misses the shot. Ball rolls loose on the floor. It went off the knee, I think, of Betts, so it's coming back to Bremen with an 8-1 lead. Hope everybody's having a great start to your week. It's hard to believe that we're on the 20th day of January. Shot is on the way. It's going to be missed. Cam Sanders with the ball from Model, dribbles up at the top of the key, sends it between the circles to Sasha Wood. Wood over towards the Bremen bench. A lob underneath from Betts, trying to get it to Wells. Ball kind of sailed on her a little bit. Pass is picked off. Bremen works it back the other way. Gets a little out of control in transition, and now Model's going to get the ball back with 4:39 left to go in the first quarter, trailing 8-1. Inbound pass goes to Betts. Now to Sanders. Pressure here from Bremen. They'll drop back around half court. They try to pass around the pressure. Pass is picked off. Derringer came out with it, fires it underneath, shot off the glass and through for Hubbard after the pass from Derringer, and that is going to cause Coach Eccles to call a timeout. So we're going to step out as well. Bremen 10, Model 1 here in the first quarter, about midway through. We're back in 30 seconds.
If you ever find yourself moving through these doors,
We're gonna take care of you.
if you ever hear these sounds or see these lights, may you find our caring team of ER experts all around you. This is the human spirit at its best. Advent Health. Feel whole.
Model Model with the basketball out of the timeout, trailing 10-1. They will drive the lane, feed it back up to the free throw line, kick out. There's Georgia Womack for three, knocks it down and gets fouled. So we're going to see Georgia Womack with an opportunity for the old-fashioned 4-point play here, actually, because she made the 3-point shot, got fouled. I thought she did. Yeah, there's the points. So a 4-point play, you don't see that happen very often. First, the shot is on the way, knocks it down, and converts the 4-point play, and that makes it a 10-5 game just in the blink of an eye. Model was trailing 10-1 before that sequence. So good job there by Georgia Womack to not only make the 3-point shot, but draw the contact, get to the free throw line, and convert the 4-point play. Bremen with the basketball. They work it around the perimeter. They try to get it underneath. Ball sails out of bounds. It's coming back to the Model Lady Blue Devils. They've got some momentum on their side. Finally have some points on the board here. 3:54 left to go in the first quarter. Model trails 10-5. They were down 10-1. They pass around the pressure, starting to get a little bit of rhythm here on offense. Now they get it to Womack with the basketball, feeds it off to Samantha Betts between the circles. Bounce pass to the right wing side to Sasha Wood. Up top, Womack with the basketball, providing a little spark here for the Blue Devils in the early part of the contest. Wood with the ball back to Womack, puts up the three, left that one a little bit short, and it goes out of bounds, coming back to Bremen. A couple of subs into the game for Bremen. Checking in, you've got Hubbard and then also Langley. And I should let you know that earlier I mentioned I didn't have a number 20 on my roster. It is Savannah Langley. So there you go. Bremen working it around the perimeter. Langley on the left wing side. Now feeds it up top. Bounce pass to the near side. Shot up. That one rattles off the rim. Tracking down the rebound. Well, it looked like there for a second Bremen was going to keep it in bounds, but it's going to go to the Lady Devils with 3:08 left to go here in the first quarter, with the Lady Devils trailing by 5, I should say, the Model Lady Devils. Georgia Womack now gives it to Sasha Wood, crosses the midcourt stripe, dribbles at the elbow, kicks it out, gives it over to Cam Sanders. She'll back up as double team, now back over to Wood. Now on to Samantha Betts. Lobs it back to Wood at the top of the key. She'll send it to the near side. A lob underneath to Sanders from Womack. Spins around, post up, hard move to the rim. And Sanders is able to convert some points there. And I got to tell you, what a great effort. Nice feed there from Womack. And then Sanders using her muscle on the inside to get to the rim and would not be denied. Bremen with the basketball on the right wing, driving baseline. Pass is picked off. Model's got a chance here to bring it within one or potentially tie up the game if they make a three. Right now it is a 10-7 ball game. And remember, Model had trailed 10-1 in the early part of the quarter. Here's Sanders. Again, very physical underneath. Getting the ball to the rim, missing the shot, but she's got an opportunity from the charity stripe. So 2 free throws coming up here for Sanders. Her first free throws of the basketball game. First one's on the way, and that one's off the front of the iron. She now gets a little bit of encouragement there from Samantha Betts, a couple other teammates, and then rolls back to the free throw line and gets ready here for her second free throw shot. This would make it a 2-point game if she can make this free throw. And Sanders going through her free throw routine. Take a little extra time this time, puts up the shot and knocks it down. So we got a 2-point ball game, 10-8. Model trailed 10-1. They were down by 9. They cut it back to a 2-point game. Bremen with the ball, going to lob it underneath. A kick out, open three on the way, and that one sails on her. Does not catch iron, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul that's going to go against the Bremen Blue Devils. And Model gets ready to inbound the ball and bring it back the other way with 2:02 remaining in the first quarter of the basketball game, now trailing only by 2 points. Sanders surveys the floor, is going to find Betts, back to Sanders, trying to work around the pressure, passing the basketball. Now they're going to give it to Womack, dribbles across the timeline. She is trapped, gives it off to Sanders at midcourt, gets it to Wood, now back to Womack, puts up the 3 ball, and that one's off the side of the rim. A one-and-done trip as Model struggles to get a good open look there on that particular possession, as this is a really good defensive Bremen team. As we pointed out going into the game, they were giving up just 30 points, a little over 30 points coming into this basketball game per game. Those are pretty impressive numbers. Across the timeline goes Bremen. They're going to send it to the right wing side. Now back around the perimeter, going to work it over to the left wing side in front of the model bench. Now back up top, going to feed it to a cutting player. Ball is knocked loose. Getting her hands in there was Womack, but it's going to stay with Bremen. Great effort there on defense by the Model Lady Devils. 1:20 left to go in the period. Knocked out of bounds there by Eva Pointer, who's in off the bench for Model. And we get ready for Bremen to inbound the basketball. To trigger in motion is going to be Redding. She surveys the floor. It's going to lob it in, and the ball is going to be deflected, and Model comes out with it. It's poked free and out of bounds by number 12, Derringer, there for this Bremen Blue Devils team, but it's going to stay with Model on their end of the floor. This time they will inbound the ball underneath their own basket as Sasha Wood bounce pass underneath to Sanders, backs her way in, misses the shot, gets her own rebound, gets it to the rim again. Third look, that time was Pointer, misses the shot. Wood's got the ball, and I think we're going to have a whistle and a foul that's going to go against Bremen, and it does. And we're going to see free throw shots coming up here from Sasha Wood, who has been to the stripe here once before in this game already, shooting 50%. She made one of a pair early on in this first quarter. Scores 10-8. Model trails by 2. First shot on the way. That one rattles off the side of the rim, and she'll get ready for a second shot. Right now on the floor for Model, you've got Sanders, Pointer, Wood, Betts, and Womack. And at the free throw line is Wood with one more free throw of this pair coming up. Shot on the way. That one's off the back of the rim. Rebound is going to go to Heflin of Bremen, and now Bremen brings it back the other way. Hubbard with it. Now back to Heflin, back to Hubbard. They're going to send it to the far side. That's over to Redding in front of the Model bench. Now back between the circles they go. They're going to work it around the perimeter, back up top, fires the three, and that one's through. Good looking shot there by Kaylin Hubbard, who's knocked down 2 threes in this game already, has 8 points in the game. 35 seconds. Here's Pointer after the outlet pass and knocks it through. Eva Pointer with her first bucket of the game. That cuts it back to a 3-point game with just under 30 seconds to go and the shot clock off here in the remaining seconds of the first period. Heflin with the ball, sends it up top. Boy, what a great effort there from Pointer. A little bit of contact there, so she's going to be charged with the foul, but being very aggressive on defense there, trying to get to the ball. And we will get ready for Bremen to inbound the ball here in just a couple of moments with 20.3 ticks left on the clock here in the first quarter, and a sub about to come into the game here for Bremen, or just did rather. So they're going to inbound this ball between the Model bench and the scores table. The Bremen Lady Devils are. They get it in now between the circles. 17 seconds left in the first quarter. Lob underneath the basket, trying to get it down low. Now the kick out and three opportunity. Bounces high off the rim. Trying to get the rebound was Samantha Betts, and it was knocked out of bounds by Bremen. So the Blue Devils may have another crack at it here with 8.4 seconds left to go. Pressure coming here from the Bremen defense. Here's Womack with a basketball. She'll dribble down the floor across the timeline. Now works right. Puts up the shot just before the buzzer and knocks down the three. Georgia Womack having a whale of a first quarter, has knocked down 2 threes, also converted a 4-point play on the first three that she made, and closes out the quarter by tying the game with that one. It's 13 apiece. We'll send it back to the studio and be back for more Model basketball after a 1-minute break.
At Smith & Wood Wealth Management, we're proud to be part of the Rome community, where the same teamwork that wins on the court inspires our approach to financial planning and investment. Just like the Model High School Blue Devils and Lady Devils, success starts with a solid game plan. Like a trusted coach, we provide insight and guidance so you can pursue your financial goals with confidence. The Smith & Wood financial planning process centers on understanding your unique goals and creating strategies that balance enjoyment today with preparations for tomorrow's challenges. We would love to work with you to build a game plan for the season ahead.
Welcome you back live here, Model Basketball for you. And right now, Model with the basketball with a tie ball game at 13 apiece. Georgia Womack right before the buzzer knocked down a three-point shot to tie this thing up. Model trailed. Biggest deficit was 10-1 at one point of that first quarter of play. But we've got 7:45 left to go here in the half. And I apologize because I had some mix-up on my roster for Bremen, but I'm going to take care of that and iron that out when we are at halftime. I apologize for that. I was coming in on two wheels to broadcast this game today because I had a lot of things going on at my day job and didn't have the amount of time to get here as early as I normally do to kind of sort those things out. So I do apologize for that, but we'll correct that before we get into the second half as the PA announcers help me with that as we speak, but I didn't have time to get it in a short break there. But coming up at halftime, we'll get that sorted out. But right now we've got a tie ball game at 13 apiece as we get ready for Bremen to inbound the basketball. Hubbard is set to trigger it in motion here for the Lady Devils for Bremen. And now they try to work the perimeter. Ball goes out of bounds. They say it was tipped by a Model player. Right now Coach Eccles protesting a little bit there. Felt like it was out on one of the Bremen players, but that's not how the officials saw it. And Coach Eccles is being respectful, but she's pretty adamant about what she saw right there in front of it. Ball's tipped free as Model gets the ball back regardless. Wells came out with it, gave it to Mathis. Now they go back up top to Betts. Betts between the circles, going to work towards the left wing side, drives to the low block, tries to scoop it in, and gets fouled, and we'll get ready for free throw shots coming up from Samantha Betts. This will be her first trip to the stripe of the ball game, and this will be an opportunity here from the free throw line for the Model to take their first lead of the game. They've trailed the entire game up to this point, and where we are currently tied with 7:14 left to go in the second quarter. That one clanks off the back of the rim. She'll get ready for her second free throw attempt coming up here in just a couple of moments. One more free throw shot coming up for Samantha Betts. On the way and through. Knocks it down, and Model has their first lead, and that happens with 7:12 left to go here in the first half. Bremen with the basketball. They work it back up between the circles. Going to try to get it towards the right wing side. Now backs up. Going to work it inside. Kicks it out. Here's a three ball on the way, and that one goes in and out. Rebound goes to Cam Sanders and the Model Lady Devils. Across the timeline goes Addie Mathis. Now back around. They go to the near side. Samantha Betts directing traffic. Now running the point here for Model. Going to work around a screen. Feeds it underneath, trying to get it to Mathis. Kind of got behind her a little bit. Got tangled up, went out of bounds. And so the ball is coming back here to Bremen. Model leads it 14-13 after trailing all of the first quarter and the first minute of the second quarter of the ball game. One of the people that I noticed that's in the crowd here tonight, I'll tell you in just a moment. Right now, Bremen with the basketball, tripped up. That's going to be a foul that's going to go against Model. And they are going to get Wells on that particular foul. Bremen surveying the floor. Hubbard to trigger it in motion here in just a couple moments here. Going to be a substitution as Alana Penn checks into the game here for the Model Lady Devils. And they will bounce it in. Underneath, the ball is going to be knocked loose, and a scrum for it on the floor. We're going to have a jump ball. Possession arrow is pointing in Bremen's direction. But obviously next time that happens, it'll be pointing the other way. But great defense there by the Lady Devils. 21 seconds on the shot clock, by the way, for Bremen. Right now, Bremen with the basketball, working the perimeter. They'll back up between the circles. Now send it over to the left wing side. Now back up top they go, back between the circles with 6:12 left to go in the first half of the ball game. Now they'll go to work with 5 seconds left to go on the shot clock. I don't think they're aware of how little time's left. They lob it underneath, a blocked shot, and that is going to be a shot clock violation as they do not get it to the rim. So great possession there for the Model Lady Devils on defense as they are able to force the shot clock violation and get the ball back. So Lady Devils across the timeline. Model with the ball. They're going to send it between the circles to Cam Sanders with a 1-point lead. Model leads it. We're down by 9 in the first quarter at 10-1 score at one point. Sanders with it on the right wing side in front of the Bremen bench. Going to bounce it over to Sasha Wood. Now works towards the elbow. Bounces it back out to Mathis. Trying to get it inside to Penn. The ball ricochets off a couple of players. Ends back with Mathis. Now sends it over to Sanders. Keeps it in bounds. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Got to get a shot off, and they don't. So each team on the last couple of possessions there have turned it over on a shot clock violation. And actually, there was a foul on Bremen, so it will not be in the hands of the Bremen Lady Devils. It's going to stay with the Lady Blue Devils of Model. They get it into Samantha Betts, dribbles between the circles, now to the left side, sends it over to Addie Mathis, now back to Betts. Betts with the ball on the left wing side, now going to kick it back out, trying to get it up top, but the ball is stolen away. Here come the Lady Devils of Bremen down the other end, and that is going to be a layup, and that's one of the numbers I got to check here in just a second when we get a break in the action. Betts has got it here for the Model Lady Devils. They give it over to Mathis, sends it right wing side, gets it to Sasha Wood. We're under 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Bremen out to a 1-point lead. They led by as many as 9. Left wing side to Mathis. Now back up top to Wood. Wood going to go to work around a screen there set by Penn. Wood back up top to Sanders. Now she'll start to drive. It's got 3 players on her. Sends it back to Wood. Fires the 3. That clanks off the side of the rim. And it looks like we're going to have a whistle that's going to go against Model there on that play. Checking into the game is going to be Georgia Womack. We've seen a lot of action here in the first part of this game. This has been absolutely action-packed between these two teams. It's been a lot of fun to watch. But again, we're glad you're with us for live coverage for Northwest Georgia Media on the live stream and also WLAQ on the radio end tonight. Bremen with the basketball. They send it right wing side, going to work towards the baseline. Nearly trapped in the corner, and that is going to be a violation against Bremen, so it's coming back to the Lady Devils of Model. Trying to navigate 2 Blue Devils teams here tonight. Going to be doing it all night, and it's one of those things you think about it going in, and it's still, at least for me, it's still difficult to wrap your brain around that. It doesn't happen very often. Here's Georgia Womack with the basketball, going to work towards the right wing, now dribbles back left. Going to send it over to Sasha Wood. Wood with 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter of the ball game. Try to send it down low, player it up on the floor. Cam Sanders' ball sailed out of bounds. And we get ready for Bremen to inbound the basketball here with a 15-14 lead with just a few notches under 4 minutes to go here of the second quarter of the ball game. Across the timeline go Bremen. Bremen now working it in front of the Model bench. They go towards the left side, now back up top. Going to send it to the near side, get it over to Redding. Redding with the basketball, trying to send it to the right wing side. Finding another teammate. They go underneath. Missed the shot. Model comes out with it. They go right wing side to Addie Mathis. Now going to work it out to Georgia Womack between the circles. Back to the right wing, they go to Mathis. Mathis starts to dribble. Still 20 seconds left on the shot clock. They're going to give it to Wood. Wood now works it toward the right wing side. Now goes towards the paint, feeds it back to Womack. Now down to 13 seconds on the shot clock. Got to get something going here on offense. Going to send it to the near side. A lob underneath, trying to get it to Sanders. And the ball was stripped away, but out of bounds. Went Bremen, and actually I think there was a foul called. And we get ready for Model to inbound the ball underneath the basket. Subs coming into the game for each team. Checking back in is Savannah Langley here for Bremen, and for Model, you're going to have Pointer back into the game, and now Zakiah Diamond. Wood sends it into the corner to the left wing side to Womack, who now dribbles up top. She'll back up, sends it up to Penn, who's at the free throw line, fires it right wing side to Diamond. A lob underneath to Penn, who will try to back her way in, open up a shot, goes off the side of the rim, won't go. And rebound goes to Bremen. They're going to bring it back the other way. A heave underneath, trying to get the outlet pass into the paint. The ball is going to be deflected out of bounds. Great heads-up play there by Eva Pointer on defense. Bremen will get ready to inbound the ball underneath their own basket as Sanders checks back into the game for Penn. 2:39 left to go here in the first half of the ball game. Bremen set to trigger it in motion. Bremen with the ball, working around the perimeter. Langley's got it. Going to send it up top. Firing the three-point shot is Redding. That one clangs off the back of the rim, and Diamond comes out with a rebound for Model. Now Sasha Wood motors across the midcourt stripe, works down towards the low block, sends it across, gets it over to Pointer, and she travels, kind of shuffled her feet as she's trying to make a decision on what to do with the ball. And now it's coming back here to Bremen. Derringer set to trigger it in motion here for Bremen. She'll fire it in, gets it over to Redding. Redding is going to be trapped between two Model players, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul. Thought we were going to see a jump ball there. Official blew the whistle and called a foul. And they're going to get Georgia Womack on that one. And we'll get ready for Bremen to take some free throw shots here in just a couple of moments. And heading to the free throw line for the second time tonight is going to be Cindy Claire Redding. And she has 2 shots forthcoming. Bremen up 15-14. First shot's on the way, and that will grow the lead to 2 as she makes the first free throw, gets ready for another one, does Redding. And again, earlier in the first quarter of the game, we would see Bremen start the game on a 10-1 run to start the game before Model was able to close the gap. We had a tie ball game at the end of the first quarter. Knocks down 2 in a row does Cindy Claire Redding, and we've got a 17-14 ball game in favor of Bremen. They're out to a 3-point lead. Here's Wood at the baseline, kicks it out. Sanders for 3 and knocks down a big-time shot from a big-time player that ties this thing up at 17 apiece. What a first half of basketball inside Woodard Gymnasium. Under 2 minutes to go here in this first half. Firing the 3 on the other side was Langley, missed the shot. Rebound picked up by Diamond. Now Betts is going to bring it across the midcourt stripe for the Lady Blue Devils from Model High School. Samantha now gives it off to Diamond. Diamond picks up her dribble between the circles, leaves it off for Betts on the right wing in front of the Bremen bench. Now works her way back up top. Now gives it off to Wood. Wood backs up, leaves it for Sanders. A lob underneath to Pointer, backs her way in, gets it towards the rim, misses the shot, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul that's going to go against Pointer, and the Boo Birds come out here from the Model fans. Did not like that call. And now we're going to see free throws coming up here for Bremen, and they're going to send number 1 to the free throw line, which I did not have in my roster. I'm going to correct that, but we'll get her name in just a couple of moments. But the first shot on the way, and that one's off the front of the rim. Second shot coming up here momentarily here from Bremen from the free throw line. It's tied up at 17 apiece with 1:25 left to go in the first half of play. Second shot on the way, and that one's going to rattle through. And so that makes it an 18-17 game in favor of Bremen. So it's a 1-point ball game with 1:20 left to go in the second quarter. Almost at halftime. There's Betts, sends it up top to Sanders. Little hesitation, sends it left wing side, gets it to Diamond, wants to drive, puts it up, and gets it to the rim, misses the shot. Rebound going to be picked up by Bremen, and the jump ball is forced. This time possession arrow is pointing in Model's direction. So Model's going to have possession of the ball with 1:06 left to go here in the first half of play, trailing by 1 point. And we'll get ready for Diamond to inbound the ball here for Model. She surveys the floor, trying to find the open player, tried to lob it to Sanders, but the pass was picked off by Derringer. There for Bremen. They will lob it across the timeline, work it towards the low block, sends it out the left wing side to Langley. Now they'll work it back around the perimeter with 54 seconds to work with here in the second quarter of play. Shot clock has 19. Now Model will back up, reset the offense there between the circles, send some players in motion. They get it over to the left wing side to Redding, now back up top. Now they're going to send it to the near side, trying to lob it underneath. They get it into Derringer, post up with 3 defenders on her, is able to get it to the rim and score. So Derringer now with 4 points helps Bremen to a 3-point, 20-17 lead. Shot clock is off, 23 seconds to work with remaining in the second quarter as Model searches for a good look to perhaps get the last opportunity of the half. Here's Diamond for a long 2. That one clanks off the side of the rim. Ball is knocked out of bounds by Bremen as they try to track down the rebound, and so it stays with Model with 10.8 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. At the end of our first quarter, Georgia Womack, just before the buzzer, knocked down a three, and that tied it up. So let's see if we have something similar here as teams get ready to go into the locker room. Sasha Wood surveys the floor. Out to Sanders. Fires the three. That one's high off the back of the rim. Rebound goes to Betts. Trying to get it back to Sanders. Pass is picked off by Derringer. Bremen with a long three-point shot, and it is missed right before the buzzer. So Bremen is going to have a halftime lead over the Model Lady Devils by a score of 20-17. We're going to send it back to the studio for a 3-minute timeout. A 3-minute timeout down the line. We'll come back and run down the scoring and get you set for the second half and our halftime show when we come back 3 minutes.
They call it Mo Day, a time of fanfare and pride, and another week with the neighborhood's best yard, because you drafted the MVP of all mowers. A comfortable seat and adjustable controls bring the battle to your turf, not your backside. Ride like the wind on your solid steel stallion and give the fans something to cheer about, because it's your day. It's Mo Day.
At Smith & Wood Wealth Management, we're proud to be part of the Rome community, where the same teamwork that wins on the court inspires our approach to financial planning and investment. Just like the Model High School Blue Devils and Lady Devils, success starts with a solid game plan. Like a trusted coach, we provide insight and guidance so you can pursue your financial goals with confidence. The Smith & Wood financial planning process centers on understanding your unique goals and creating strategies that balance enjoyment today with preparations for tomorrow's challenges. We would love to work with you to build a game plan for the season ahead. WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber and Tree Service.
Welcome you back live courtside inside Woodard Gymnasium. I've made the necessary adjustments to my rosters there, but I didn't have a chance to add up the scoring, so we may have to do that on the fly as we go, but I think I can do that as we go through our first segment here of our halftime show. But again, we'll let you know at halftime, Bremen is up 20-17. They opened up with a 10-1 run to start the first quarter of the basketball game, so they were up by 9 at one point over Model. That was their largest lead. Model would tie it up on a three-point shot made by Georgia Womack right at the end of the first quarter, just before the buzzer, to tie up the game, and we had a close one from that point moving forward, again with Bremen up by 3 points. As far as the scoring is concerned, we'll start with the Model Lady Devils. There in the first quarter, in the first half of the basketball game, they would pick up 6 points from Cam Sanders. Also, you'd have 7 points there from Georgia Womack, including the three-point shot that tied up the game at the end of the first quarter right before the buzzer. In addition to that, she knocked down another three-point shot and converted a 4-point play after getting fouled in the shooting motion there after making that shot. So she had a really great first quarter of the basketball game, and then also helped the team defensively as well. 1 point for Sasha Wood from the free throw line, as well as Samantha Betts made a free throw there in the second quarter of the basketball game. Eva Pointer also had a field goal and scored 2 points. So that should all add up to Model's 17 points. Meanwhile, for the leading Bremen Lady Devils, they pick up 3 points from the free throw line from Cece Redding, Cindy Claire Redding. Also with 4 points was Marley Derringer. You would have a 8-point performance there. All of her points scored in the first quarter for Kaylin Hubbard. So she had 8 points in the game and is the leading scorer overall. Then you'd have 2 points from Shelby Underwood. That was in the first quarter. Then Daly Sheets, that was the name, one of the names I was searching for there on the roster earlier. Daly Sheets would pick up 3 points. Her points all came in the second quarter of the ball game. And so that's the scoring up until this point. And again, in the first quarter of the ball game, it was tie at the end of one. So each team scored 13 points there. In the second quarter of the game, Model would score 4 points. And then you would have Bremen scoring 7 points. So the scoring there in the second quarter looked a lot different there for both teams than it did in the first quarter of the basketball game. Well, we're about 3.5 minutes away from the start of our second half of basketball tonight, and we're glad you're with us here for live action here from Woodard Gymnasium. I'm Matt Davis bringing the play-by-play call. Of course, we've got Northwest Georgia Media here tonight with their video coverage, WLAQ Radio coverage, and we're having a good time. We hope you're having a good time with us too. We'll step out for 3 minutes, come back for the start of the second half. Right now, Bremen leads Model narrowly 20-17 at halftime. We're back to start the second half after these messages. 3 minutes.
You have to be tough to be the world's #1 selling farm tractor. Mahindra tractors are tough thanks to more built-in weight, so they can safely pull flex-wing mowers and rescue neighbors stuck in the mud. And you're tough too. You haul feed and pull a float in your hometown parade.
Let's pray.
And still make it to supper. Now that's tough. Sounds like we have a lot in common. Mahindra, the official tractor of tough.
Welcome to Shannon Pharmacy, proudly serving the Shannon community since 2004. We're your small, full-service pharmacy with a big heart, offering friendly, professional service and a caring community feel. Whether you need prescriptions filled, expert advice, or health products, we're here for you. Experience the difference at Shannon Pharmacy, where your health is our priority. Visit us today.
Bremen inbounds the ball, leading it 20-17. We're just underway here to start the third quarter of the basketball. Halftime is officially over, and we're playing basketball. Ball is going to be knocked free. It stays with Bremen. They'll heave it to the near side, working on their side of the floor. Ball nearly stripped away. Great defensive sequence there by the Model Lady Blue Devils. Ball ends up on the floor, and it's coming back to Model. So Cam Sanders set to inbound the ball here for Model. Surveys the floor, is going to find Samantha Betts. They'll try to pass around the pressure. They get it to Addie Mathis, dribbles across the timeline, immediately had her trapped over on the far sidelines. Cam Sanders has got it. 3 defenders in her face. Is going to leave it off for Sasha Wood. Now Wood with the basketball. Very effective defense here for this Bremen basketball team. Driving is Betts. Gives it out to Sanders. She'll back up. Now back up top. Sends it to Wood. Fires the 3. That's off the back of the rim. It won't fall. Ball is getting up in the hands of Bremen. They'll bring it back the other way. Lob to the near side. Now back up top. Firing the 3 ball. And missing is going to be Hubbard. And ball caroms out of bounds. That's going to be coming back to the Bremen Lady Devils. So right now, again, Bremen, same score as we had at the start of the second half of the ball game, 20-17, a 3-point lead here for Bremen, who led by as many as 9 points in the first quarter of the game. It was tied at the end of the first. Shot is up and missed. By the time we got to halftime, it was a 3-point ball game. So more free throws coming up here for Bremen. Underwood is going to the charity stripe. And I think I've got all my roster stuff sorted out here for Bremen. Again, I apologize to any Bremen fans that are listening tonight. I certainly meant no disrespect by not having that ready to go at game time. Shot is up and through. But I was kind of coming in on 2 wheels and just didn't have time to round up everything I needed. And didn't have it sorted out like I normally would. So I apologize for that, but I think I've got it ready now. Second shot on the way. That's off the back of the rim. I apologize. It took till halftime to get it. Here is Samantha Betts. Going to dribble across the timeline, drives in, kicks out. Now back up top. Sanders fires the 3. That one rattles off the rim. Ball ricochets off a couple of players. Bremen's going to come out with it. They'll box out. Underwood does, and bring it back up the floor in the hands of C.C. Redding. Redding now back to Hubbard. Hubbard across the timeline with it with 6.5 to go in the third quarter. Bremen with the basketball on the left wing side. Now dribbles back towards between the circles. Hubbard's got it, works right, sends it right wing side, and underneath. They will drive. Shot is up, missed. Coming out with a rebound is going to be Cam Sanders. Lady Devils will bring it back the other way. 21-17 the score, a 4-point lead here for Bremen. As the only point made here of this quarter so far was from the free throw line and Shelby Underwood just moments ago. Looks like Wood was bumped there by Hubbard. So Model will get ready to inbound the ball after the foul with just under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter of the ball game, trailing by 4. We're going to have boys basketball coming up for you a little bit later on tonight. Looking forward to that one. And right now, Betts takes the inbound pass. Sanders has got it, going to drive the lane, kicks out. There is a long 2 by Mathis, who knocks down the shot. Addie Mathis's first shot of the ball game. And I just got a news notification that Andrew Jones is going to be a part of the 2026 class of the Hall of Fame, former Atlanta Brave. And boy, I'm super glad to see that, as well as Carlos Beltran is the other inductee for this year. Took them long enough to get old Andrew Jones in there, but I'm glad that it was finally able to happen. Langley with the basketball, going to send it up between the circles to Redding. Now to the near side, firing the 3 and missing the shot is going to be Sheets. Daily Sheets. Coming out with the rebound was Model. Sasha Wood wants to work quick, gets it to the rim, leaves that one short, and the rebound is going to go to Underwood and Bremen. With 5:10 left to go in the third quarter, they're going to lose the ball. It goes out of bounds, coming back to Model. So Model's going to have possession of the ball. And they've just cut it on the Addie Mathis shot on the previous possession back to a 2-point game. So they've got the opportunity here on this possession to either tie or perhaps take the lead. So we'll see. But right now, the Model Lady Devils set to inbound the basketball here, trailing only by 2 points here in the ball game. Inbound pass, shot off the glass, misses the shot. Trying to track down the rebound. Bremen's going to come out with it after it ricochets off a couple of players. Underwood came out with it. Hubbard with it now, going to bring it across the timeline here for Bremen. Now between the circles, going to leave it off for Underwood. Who will now go to work, sends it right wing side, back up top. They try to get it underneath. Good hands there by Pointer, deflecting the pass on the inside. Wood comes out with the ball here for Model, tries to bounce it over to Pointer. Got a little bit behind her, but recovered. Now Mathis, one-hand pass, gets it over to Sanders up at the top of the key. And now she'll start to go to work inside. Nice spin move there by Sanders. Tries to get it to the rim, does. Gets fouled and is going to go to the free throw line. And as we were talking about earlier, regardless if you obviously want to make the shot, but if you can get inside, attack the rim, get fouled, you can make some good things happen here. So Sanders has an opportunity for from the charity stripe to get some points here for Model. First shot's on the way, and that was going to rattle in. 1 point away from having a tie ball game. Model led earlier briefly by a point, I believe. But for the most part, Bremen has been out in front in this one for the vast majority of the ball game, led by as many as 9. Second shot on the way. That one's going to rattle in as well. And we got a 21-21 tie ball game. We're locked up with 4.5 left to go in the third quarter. This one looks a lot different than the first game between these two teams, and I think a lot of folks felt like it would. Model was still adapting and trying to figure out what their identity was going to be after losing a couple of their key players due to injury. And they have regrouped and just look like a totally different team right now. Here's Pointer driving inside, misses the shot. Of course, they got Pointer back in the lineup, but they have done a fantastic job after losing a couple of the best players. Obviously, Javius Samples, and then a little bit later on, Savannah Minshew, of adapting to some of the difficulties that have come along with those types of injuries throughout the course of the season. Coaching staff and players have done a great job of keeping things going and improving. Here is the shot underneath. It is going to be missed there by Savannah Langley, and she's going to earn a trip to the charity stripe here, much to the chagrin of the Model fans here. So Langley at the free throw line here with a tie ball game at 21 apiece between Model and Bremen. Battle of the Lady Devils. 4:05 left to go third quarter. First shot on the way, and that one's going to be right through there for Savannah Langley. And that gives Bremen a 1 point lead, as subbing back into the game is Marley Derringer, who checks in for Shelby Underwood, the senior. Second shot on the way from Langley, and knocks that one down as well. That one rattled in, and now Bremen takes back a 2 point lead. So Betts is going to feed it across to Pointer, now back up top to Wood, fires it right wing side, and Womack is going to be blocked there by Marley Derringer in the act of shooting a 3 point shot. Clean block. Ball was batted out of bounds, so it's going to stay with Model. Inbound pass is going to go to Sanders on the right wing. Now back over to Betts. Bounce pass to Womack in the corner. And she's going to feed it back around to Betts. Betts now on to Wood, who starts to drive the lane. Feeds it back out to Pointer. Takes a quick jump shot, knocks it through. Her second bucket of the game. And Pointer helps her team back into a tie situation here with Bremen. Bremen's trying to work around a little bit of pressure. They get it across, a couple of passes. Now they're going to send it the right wing side, a heave towards the near side, going to drive the lane, puts up the little runner, missing the shot was CC Redding, but she is going to the charity stripe with an opportunity for some free throws. She's a pretty good free throw shooter too. Tonight she's 75%, has made 3 out of her 4 attempts from the stripe, and has an opportunity to give Bremen the lead back here from the free throw line with 3:22 left to go in the third quarter. First shot on the way, rattles high off the rim and back through. She's made 4 in a row. Is 4 of 5 from the stripe. One more free throw coming up here for CC Redding. And right now, Bremen with a 1 point lead. Second shot on the way, and that one's through. That is 5 in the row for CC Redding, the junior, and really outstanding free throw shooting for her tonight, making 5 of 6. And how many times do you look at the end of the game, especially when you got a close one like this, and the team that does the best job there from the free throw line ends up the victor. Here's Bremen across the timeline. Now in front of their own bench. They're going to feed it to a cutting player. Now down low, shot is up, going to rattle off the rim. Rebound, second look on the way, and that's going to be through from Daly Sheets. Sheets now in the basketball game's got 5 points. And now Bremen's out to a 4-point lead. Here's Betts, bounces underneath to Pointer, who gets bumped into pretty hard. And we're going to see Pointer going to the free throw line here with a couple of shots. This is her first trip to the stripe in this ball game. Right now, Bremen owns a 4-point, 27-23 lead. Or actually, no free throws here. That was on the floor, not in the bonus yet. Inbound pass was going towards Sanders. Went off a couple of players. It looks like last it was off on Bremen. Fans here for Model protest the call. And we get ready for Bremen to inbound the ball here with a 27-23 lead, a 4-point lead with 2:45 left to go in the third quarter. So we're not quite in the final frame yet, but we're closing in on it pretty quick. Here's Bremen down low, baseline drive, feeds it across, 3-ball in the air and through. Great looking shot there by Langley after the great feed. And now Bremen is out to a 7-point lead. They've led by as many as 9. Lob underneath, trying to get to the Pointer, got away from her. Goes out of bounds, and it is coming back to Bremen. Coach Eccles wants to reel in the troops there, kind of regroup, so she'll take a timeout. We'll take it with them. 2:19 left to go, third quarter. Bremen up by 7, 30-23 after a late surge here in the third quarter. We're back after a 30-second timeout. Bremen set to inbound the ball out of the Model Blue Devils timeout. 30-23, trying to tighten things up a little bit here. As now Model trails by 7 points. Their largest deficit has been 9, but battled back here in this game. Bremen with it on the other end, putting up the shot. Hard move towards the rim, misses the shot. One and done trip there for Bremen. Model comes out with a rebound. Right now Betts has got the ball, sends it over to Sasha Wood. Wood with it, now on to Georgia Womack, fake the three. Now tries to work around the screen, trying to fire it underneath. Errant pass there is picked off. Bremen came out with the ball, and immediately a whistle by the official. And so we're going to see free throws here. And going to the free throw line is going to be Shelby Underwood, who has been there once before in the ball game earlier in this quarter. She is 1 of 2 from the stripe. So free throws 3 and 4 coming up for her, and the first one rattles in. So she gets ready for another one. And right now Bremen is out to a 31-23 lead over Model. So currently an 8-point lead. And their biggest lead in the game so far has been 9, so this would match it if she makes the second free throw. She does not. And in a battle for a rebound, we saw a whistle that went against Bremen, so we're going to see Model inbound the ball here, trailing by 8 here in just a couple of moments. They need a bucket here for sure. Big possession coming up here for Model Lady Devils. On the floor right now for Model, you've got Pointer, Womack, Wood, Betts, and also Alana Penn is on the floor. We'll give you a floor check for Bremen in just a couple of moments. Here's Pointer with the basketball dribbling across the timeline in front of their bench. Going to try to fire it to the near side, gets to Womack, going to drive towards the lane, passes it to Penn, shot is up, it is missed, and the Lady Devils, the Blue Devils of Model have fallen a bit cold here in this quarter. Georgia Womack set to inbound the ball here for the Lady Devils. Surveys the floor. Model with possession, and the inbound pass is going to be picked off there by Langley as Bremen comes back the other way with it. Now with it is Underwood. Underwood sends it to the left wing side to Sheets. Now back to Underwood between the circles. 1:15 left to go here in the third quarter. Now Langley with it. Going to fire it to the right wing side. Gets it over to Heflin. Heflin going to drive it towards the baseline. Now is going to lob it back up top. Now to Underwood. Underwood goes to work on Womack, sends it to left wing side to Langley. Langley going to drive, and she travels. So Model is set to inbound the ball, trailing the game 31-23 to Bremen. Bremen came into the contest 15-1. The last time these two teams met, it was a totally different type of ball game as Bremen dominated basically from the jump and won that game 52-18. And no question that Hunter Williams has done a great job with this group this year. They're number one in Region 6A Class A Division I. And right now, depending on which poll you look at, they're number 3 in the state in Class A Division I. Very good basketball team, tough opponent. Sasha Wood and Lady Devils with the ball. They're going to send it to Womack. Now Trapp tries to get it to Pointer. Ball loose on the floor. Battle for it ensues, and we're going to have a jump ball. Possession arrow points in Bremen's direction. And I mentioned to you earlier that Bremen came into the game allowing just a little over 30 points a game in this contest. I mean, throughout the course of the season, rather. So far, they've given up 23 in this one. And we're almost done with the third quarter. Blue Devils Model, or actually Bremen with the basketball. I got to dive into my equipment here. I just realized I didn't plug in my computer, the power outlet. I'm out of sorts today, folks. Some days, I guess, are kind of like that. But hopefully I can get this thing plugged in before everything dies. I'll work towards that as we've got free throws coming up here for Bremen. They go to the line, leading the game 31-23, looking to add to their totals. First shot's on the way and through. That is Underwood, who knocked down that free throw. She's got one more coming up here in just a couple of moments. I think I just dodged a bullet there by getting that computer plugged in. Multitasking here a little bit. It kind of comes with the territory sometimes. Second shot was missed, so she made the first, missed the second, and Model on the other end. Three ball in the air is going to be missed by Sasha Wood. Rebound was picked up by Pointer as we get ready for Model to try to get another shot with 6 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Karam's off the rim for Betts, and now a heave from across court there for Bremen. Certainly not going to get a good shot at that one, and that's the end of the third quarter, and Bremen is going to lead it going into the final frame by a score of 32-23 over Model. So Bremen has matched their largest lead of the game that was early in the first quarter going into the final frame. We're going to take a 1-minute break. We'll come back for the final 8 minutes of this contest after a 1-minute break.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Instant Replay is brought to you by Smith & Wood Wealth Management. We also thank Mathis Trailer and Equipment, Shannon Pharmacy, WC Timber, Snodgrass and Robinson Plastic Surgery Specialists, Advent Health Redmond, The Herb Shop on Broad, Dogwood Books, and Duffy's Deli. Please support the businesses that support us.
And through. Jada Wells knocks down the first bucket of the final frame of the basketball game and cuts it back to a 7-point game. Bremen 32, Model 25. 7:40 left to go in the ball game. Bremen with the basketball. They're going to work towards the top of the key. Now goes right wing side in front of the Bremen bench. Going to work into the lane. Ball gets loose, rolls out of bounds. Who last touched it? It was somebody for the Model Lady Devils. So it's going to stay with Bremen on their end of the floor and a 7-point lead. They will send it to left wing side. Now back up top. They're going to go to Langley. To a cutting player going on in the inside. Shot is up, missed by Sheets. And we will have a whistle that went against Bremen there on the foul. So we get ready for Model to inbound the basketball here, trailing only by 7 points. So still anybody's ball game here as we've just started the final frame of the ball game. Sanders going to work it across the timeline here for Model. Trapp going to send it over to Betts on the right wing. A lob underneath, getting it to Wells. It is up, a little bit too strong, goes off the front of the rim, ends up loose on the floor. Picking up the 50-50 ball was Daly Sheets. Sheets sends it left wing side over to Langley. Now back to Sheets. She'll dribble back between the circles, starts to drive, now kicks out. They've got it on the right wing, now back to Sheets between the circles. Sends it left wing side. Langley fires the three, goes in and out. Rebound picked up by Womack. Model down by 7, drives towards the other side of the floor. Womack leaves it off for Betts. Now back to Womack, fires the wide open three, and that one's off the side of the rim, and it goes out of bounds. So it's coming back to Bremen. And Bremen with a 7-point lead will have the ball with 6:37 left to go in the ball game. A couple of subs back into the game here for Bremen. Checking in, you've got Hubbard. I believe I also saw Derringer checking back into the game here for the Bremen Lady Devils. Hubbard to walk it up the floor here for Bremen. She's across the midcourt stripe, sends it right wing side, driving baseline was Langley with the ball. And then we're going to have a tie-up as Wells was trying to steal the ball away there from a Bremen player. It's going to stay here with Bremen on their end of the floor. And the clock is still running. Well, they stopped it with 6:25 left. They're going to bounce it inside. Shot is, ball's going to ricochet off the wall behind the baseline. So we get ready for Bremen to inbound the ball with 6:24 left to go in the ball game, leading at 32-25. Lob pass going to go inside to Hubbard. Now back up top to Langley. Langley going to bounce it underneath to Underwood. She'll kick out, trying to find an open player. Now back to Underwood, drives baseline. And then she tried to bounce pass to another player. Nobody was there, and it bounces out of bounds. So it's coming back to Model. Boys game coming up after this one. Looks like we may get started close to time on that one. Maybe running a little bit behind. Right now, ball stolen away. Bremen with it, gets it to the rim, misses the shot. Betts came out with the rebound. We're going to have a whistle and a foul. Georgia Womack down on the floor right now for Model after being charged with the foul. Got up pretty quickly though, but I think Bremen is going to inbound the ball from their baseline here in just a couple of moments. No, actually, Model's going to have the ball. So reverse that. Cam Sanders surveys the floor, sends it to Georgia Womack, who's going to bring it up the floor for the Lady Devils. Model Lady Devils, to be more specific. Here's Samantha Betts with the ball between the circles, sends it left wing side, gets it to Addie Mathis. Now back around to Betts. She is trapped, so sends it up top to Jada Wells. Wells, the lob to the near side, gets it to Womack. Womack's trapped between a couple of players, and a jump ball is forced. It's going to stay on Model's end of the floor. So we got 5:44 left to go in the ball game, and Bremen leads it still by 7 points. Both teams a little drought here in the last couple of minutes of the fourth quarter. Model set to inbound the ball. Womack is going to give it into Betts, who drives towards the low block, sends it up top to Sanders. Now the left wing side. There's a step back three. Therefore, Addie Mathis misses the shot, but coming out with the ball was Jada Wells. She'll bounce it underneath to Sanders, backs her way in, puts it up, gets to the rim, misses the shot, gets her own rebound, and knocks down the shot as she was going down the floor and gets fouled. So we're going to see Cam Sanders with a three-point opportunity here with 5:26 left to go in the fourth quarter. Right now we got a 5-point ball game as Model is hanging in there, keeping this one close late in the ball game. We've seen two circumstances here in this game where Bremen has led by as many as 9 points, once in the first quarter and then once just a few moments ago, and Model just keeps battling back. Shot on the way and rattles off the rim. Rebound tracked down by Jada Wells. They send it back up top to the Model Lady Devils. Betts has got it on the right wing after the feed there from Mathis. Now to Womack, out to Wells. Wells with the ball for Model. Going to feed it back outside to Betts. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Got to go to work. Here's Jada Wells underneath, trying to get it to Sanders. Ball is picked off. Now stolen right back by the Lady Devils. Loose on the floor and picked up. And a timeout is going to be called by Coach Williams of Bremen. So we'll take it as well. Bremen leads at 32-27 over Model. 5:02 left to go in the ball game. We're back in 30 seconds.
If you ever find yourself moving through these doors,
We're gonna take care of you.
if you ever hear these sounds, or see these lights, may you find our caring team of ER experts all around you. This is the human spirit at its best. Advent Health. Feel whole.
Model has outscored Bremen 4-0 here in the first 3 minutes, almost 3 minutes of the final quarter of the ball game. It is 32-27 is your score. Or actually, I said that incorrect. No, I think I was right. Yeah, that's right. Because Bremen led by 9 at the end of the third quarter. But Betts takes the inbound pass in the backcourt, dribbles across the midcourt stripe, sends it left wing side to Womack. Womack with the basketball in front of the Model bench, gets it underneath to Sanders, backs her way in on Underwood, kicks it out. There's Womack for 3, left that one a little bit short. And a whistle and a foul is going to be charged against Bremen. So Georgia will inbound the ball in just a couple of moments here for the Model Lady Devils, as checking into the game here for Bremen is going to be Heflin. Charged with the foul was Lutwig. Inbound pass goes to Sanders, drives in, puts up the shot, and she traveled. Yeah, there's no question about that. So a turnover for Model, and the score remains 32-27 with 4:37 left to go here in the game. Here's a pass across court. They get it down to Redding. Redding in front of the Bremen bench, now trapped by a couple of Model Lady Devils, and calling a timeout is going to be Coach Williams, who's pretty hot right now. And we're going to take it as well. 4:26 left to go in the fourth quarter. Bremen's up 32-27. We're back in 30 seconds. Welcome you back to live coverage of Model basketball tonight, whether you're listening on the radio, on the airwaves of WLAQ, or if you're watching on the live stream, however you're with us tonight. Grateful to have you along, have the opportunity to be here and bring you this super exciting night of basketball here tonight inside Woodard Gymnasium. This has been a great basketball game here between a couple of really, really good girls basketball teams. Right now, Bremen leads at 32-27, 5-point lead over Model, but we are not at the halfway point here of the final quarter, so still a lot of time left in this one. Bremen with the basketball. They have it around the perimeter currently. Dribbling with the basketball is Sheets. Now back between the circles she goes. Leaves it off for Heflin, who now starts to drive towards the lane. Bounces off of Cam Sanders, as does the ball, and now Model has it. Addie Mathis with it. After collecting it, gives it off to Betts, now to Georgia Womack. Thought about the three, hesitated, sent it inside to Cam Sanders, who's going to try to back her way in traffic, gets it to the rim, misses the shot. Now Wells tracks down the rebound, sends it out to Betts. Now to Addie Mathis. Mathis back to Betts. Betts surveys the floor, now going to send it to Jada Wells, who works inside, turns, fires it back outside to Betts. Georgia Womack with the ball, down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. Here is Sanders, fires the three, left that one short, did not catch the rim. Ball is going to be knocked out of bounds, though, by Bremen. So Model will retain possession, but with only 5 seconds remaining here on the shot clock. So they got to work fast off the inbound pass to try to get an open look, try to cash in, get some points here, cut into this 5-point Bremen lead. Sanders set to inbound the ball as Eva Pointer checks into the game for Addie Mathis. And now Sanders receives the ball from the official. Going to feed it in, gets it to Womack on the outside, who feeds it right back into Sanders, puts it up just before the buzzer of the shot clock, misses the shot, but getting the rebound were the Model Lady Devils, so another crack at it perhaps. There's Betts, sends it outside. Sanders fires the three and knocks down a big one. Second made three of the game for Sanders. This one brings it to a 2-point ball game. Here we go, 3:05 remaining in the final quarter of the game. Bremen brings it across the timeline, dribbles in front of their bench, sends it right wing side to Langley. Langley around the horn, they send it left wing side. Bremen loses the handle on the pass. Ball goes out of bounds. It's coming back to Model, and Coach Williams wants to take a timeout. So we're going to take it as well. 2:55 left to go in the ball game. Bremen 32, Model 30, a 2-point ball game when we come back in 30 seconds.
If you ever find yourself moving through these doors,
We're gonna take care of you.
if you ever hear these sounds, or see these lights, may you find our caring team of ER experts all around you. This is the human spirit at its best. Advent Health. Feel whole.
Model has outscored Bremen 7-0 here in the final frame. Right now, Model with the basketball, trailing by only 2 points, trailed by 9 points going into the fourth quarter. Here's Pointer at the free throw line, trying to get it down low to Wells, and we've got another tie-up, possession arrow points in Bremen's direction. So Bremen going to get the ball back with a 2-point lead and 2:39 left to go in this basketball game. Sheets going to send it to the far side, gets it to Underwood as they try to work it across the midcourt stripe, back into the hands of Sheets. Now going to send it to the near side, gets it over to CC Redding. Now back to Sheets between the circles. Now on to Redding on the near side, now to Sheets, who stands on the M logo at midcourt. 13 seconds on the shot clock as Bremen will have to go to work here if they want to get a look in this sequence. Shot up, little runner is missed. And boy, the defense for Model has been suffocating here in the final quarter of the ball game. 2:05 left to go. Model with the ball, trailing by 2. Cam Sanders with the basketball in front of the Model bench. Going to lob it to an open Wells off the glass. And we got a tie ball game with just under 2 minutes to go. 32 apiece in a battle of the Blue Devils. Bremen with the basketball. All the momentum in the Model Lady Devils side, and that, Model wanted the offensive foul right there, did not get it. And we get ready for Bremen to inbound the basketball in just a couple of moments. It's going to be Daly Sheets. Nope, actually Savannah Langley to inbound the ball. Man. So 9-0 run here in the fourth quarter for Model. They've tied it up, 32 apiece. Bremen has not had any points in the first 6 minutes and change of the final quarter. That is a shocking stat, folks. Ball is going to be batted out of bounds by Eva Pointer. Right now, this Model team is absolutely fired up. All the momentum and energy right now in Model's favor. Bremen with the ball, a little bit flustered at this point. Ball is going to sail into the backcourt. That is a backcourt violation that's coming back to Model. An opportunity to take the lead on this possession with 1:26 left to go in the ball game. Again, Model has outscored Bremen 9-0 in the final frame. Inbound pass goes to Betts. She gets knocked over. Foul's going to be charged to Savannah Langley. And we will get ready for Samantha Betts to go to the free throw line. where she has been one other time in the ball game. She's 1 of 2. So these are some massive free throws coming up here for the Model Lady Devils, who have tied up the ball game 32 apiece after that last made shot from Wells. Shot on the way, bounces off the back of the rim. One more shot coming up for Betts. If she makes it, Model will take the lead. And again, Model trailed by 9 coming into the fourth quarter. Shot will rattle in for Betts. So Model takes a 33-32 lead. Timeout on the floor. We're actually going to keep it here through this one. Do want to remind you to stay tuned, because coming up after this game, we got another one coming up for you. We're going to watch the Model Blue Devils take on the Bremen Blue Devils. Model comes into the game 13-2. Bremen is 9-6. Model lost their last game. That was over at Darlington, and had an opportunity to close out the game in the fourth quarter. And then Darlington went on a surge late in the game, had a 16-2 run, and ended up winning the game 63-50. Was 6 of 15 there from the free throw line. I believe Model was in the game, so that was one of the struggles of the game. But nonetheless, a great performance. If you just looked at the final score of that boys' game on Friday, you didn't know the story of what happened in the game. I was reading Jeff Gable's coverage for the Rome News Tribune earlier today, and I did not know what all went down in that ball game on Friday night, because I didn't get the opportunity to go check it out. But I heard it was an absolute raucous atmosphere, as you'd expect between those two programs, especially in recent years. But we've got 1:25 left to go in this one, as Model has taken a 1-point lead after a made free throw there from Samantha Betts just moments ago. 1:25 left to go. Bremen with the basketball out of the timeout. They will get it across the timeline. Underwood with the basketball. Now they're going to get it in the hands of Hubbard, who dribbles between the circles. Now sends it over to the right wing side. Gets it to Langley. Shot from the free throw line from Hubbard is missed, but it'll be banked in there by Underwood underneath. That's the first bucket of the final quarter of the ball game here for Bremen. They retake the lead up by 1 point, 34-33. We're under a minute to go officially. Wells now to Pointer underneath. Nobody picked her up, and she scored. Eva Pointer found her opportunity and seized the opportunity. 40 seconds to go, stolen away. Georgia Womack's got it. Model with a 1-point lead. Womack trying to get it to the rim. She gets fouled. And we should see free throws here, folks. So a great opportunity for Model Lady Devils here, with free throws coming up for Georgia Womack at the line, and Model up 35-34 with 35.6 seconds left to go in the ball game. Wow, what a game. Shot on the way, and that one rattles off the rim. One more coming up here for Georgia. And right now, Coach Eccles wants to take a timeout here and talk it over before the next free throw. So we'll take this one as well. 35.6 seconds left to go in the ball game. Model leads at 35-34. Georgia Womack, when we come back out of the break, will have one more free throw, and they will discuss what to do in the event of the result of the shot here in this break. We'll step out for 30 seconds.
WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber and Tree Service.
Welcome back in, everybody, to live coverage of Model basketball tonight on the radio and also the live stream. Georgia Womack is going to the free throw line right now with her team. Model Lady Devils up 35-34 with 35 seconds left to go in the ball game. So one more coming up with the pair. Missed the first, knocks down the second. Big free throw made there by Georgia. And now it's a 36-34 game in favor of Model. 33 seconds left on the clock. Just a little bit of difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Negligible difference. And here is Bremen going inside. She travels A turnover for Bremen. Model with a 2-point lead has got possession of the basketball. And now Model gets set to inbound the ball. Shot clock is off. Sanders takes the pass from Womack as Model tries to fight to get the ball across in time. Fires it over to Betts. Now to Georgia Womack. She'll hold the ball and take the foul. So Georgia Womack, who just hit her second of a pair of free throws, is going back to the charity stripe here with an opportunity to try to put this thing away. 36-34. A lot of pressure on these shots coming up. The first one is through. As Georgia Womack, handling the pressure, has made 2 in a row, and if she can make this free throw, it'll make it a 4-point game. Second shot rattles off the rim. It's a 3-point game, though. Model trying to steal the ball away, and a whistle and a foul. He's going to go against Bremen and send Eva Pointer to the free throw line here with 9.9 seconds left to go in the ball game. So Pointer at the charity stripe. Model up 37-34, just under 10 seconds to go in the ball game. Shot is on the way, high arcing shot, left that one short. Another shot coming up here for Eva Pointer as Model tries to pick up a victory here at home against the team that beat them earlier in the season on the 5th of December, 52-18. And now Model has a lead on that team, 37-34. So this is a team that we knew would, but has gotten better and better every week of the season. And man, if they can pick up a victory in this one, this will be the biggest win of the year so far, no question about it. And will put Model in the driver's seat of the region, because right now they are in second place behind Bremen, and they will be split if Model wins this game. So this is a pivotal game in terms of the region. I'm not sure what all the tiebreaker scenarios are, but a win here certainly would help the cause, no question about that. So right now, 9.9 seconds left to go in the ball game. Model leads it 37-34, and they'll get their players back onto the floor out of the timeout. On the floor for Model, you've got Georgia Womack, Samantha Betts, Eva Pointer is at the free throw line, Cam Sanders, and also Jada Wells. Bremen hoping for a miss here. Bremen will be. Pointer trying to ice the game, puts up the shot. That rattles off the back of the rim. Rebound picked up by Cam Sanders with 7 seconds left to go, battling with the ball. And that is going to be a whistle and a foul that's going to go against Bremen. So the fans here for Model are starting to feel this one. Not totally out of the woods yet, but I tell you what, if Cam Sanders can make a free throw here, even just one of the pair, that pretty much do it. Shot on the way. That one rattles off the front of the rim. So leaves a little bit of daylight here for this Bremen team, who's been pretty cold here in this fourth quarter of the game. As a matter of fact, Bremen's only scored 2 points here in the final 8 minutes of the ball game. Second shot, that one caroms off the rim. A little bit of daylight here for Bremen. 3 seconds left to go in the game. A heave across the floor from half court. The shot is missed, and your Model Lady Devils have done it. They've taken down the #1 team in the region by a final score of 37-34. Congratulations to the Model Lady Devils and Coach Sally Eccles. That was a big game right there. Big win for the Model Lady Devils. Again, your final score, Model wins it 37-34. We're going to send it back to the studio. We'll come back to wrap up our girls broadcast, get you ready for boys basketball in just a little bit between Model and Bremen. Again, Model wins it 37-34, a 3-point victory over the #1 team in the region. Congratulations. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
You have to be tough to be the world's #1 selling farm tractor. Mahindra tractors are tough thanks to more built-in weight, so they can safely pull flex-wing mowers and rescue neighbors stuck in the mud. And you're tough too. You haul feed and pull a float in your hometown parade.
Let's pray.
And still make it to supper. Now that's tough. Sounds like we have a lot in common. Mahindra, the official tractor of tough.
Welcome to Shannon Pharmacy, proudly serving the Shannon community since 2004. We're your small, full-service pharmacy with a big heart, offering friendly, professional service and a caring community feel. Whether you need prescriptions filled, expert advice, or health products, we're here for you. Experience the difference at Shannon Pharmacy, where your health is our priority. Visit us today.
Back for the post-game show as the Model Lady Devils just picked up a massive victory tonight over a really, really good basketball team, the Bremen Lady Devils. Model wins at 37-34. They would trail by 9 points on a couple of different occasions of the ball game, and it all came down to the fourth quarter where Model would outscore Bremen Lady Devils 14-2 in the final frame of the game. Just absolutely shut their offense down and picked up a big victory here tonight on their home floor. So what a great win there for Model and, of course, Coach Eccles. That was a fantastic game here tonight. As it broke down quarter by quarter, it was a tie game after the first quarter. In that first quarter of the ball game, you would see Bremen open up a 10-1 run to start the game. By the end of the first quarter, it was tied up at 13 apiece as we saw Georgia Womack have a couple of big moments in that first quarter, including converting a rare 4-point play. Then she also hit a 3-point shot right before the buzzer of the first quarter to tie it up. Then in the second quarter, Bremen would outscore Model 7-4. In the third quarter, Bremen would outscore Model 12-6. They would lead it again by 9 points. It was their second 9-point lead of the game going into the final 8 minutes of the game. And then Model just imposed their will. I don't know any other way to put it. There in the fourth quarter of the ball game, outscoring Bremen 14-2 and picking up a big victory at home. So here's how it breaks down in terms of the season records for each of these teams. Model now improves to 12-6. They are 6-1 in Region 6A D1. Bremen falls to 15-2. That's their only second loss of the season. The other one was against Ridgeland, who's a number 10 team in AAA this year, a 16-1 team. And so that's the second loss of the year for Bremen, and they fall to 6-1 in 6A D1. So you've got a tie between those two teams in terms of that number one spot in the region. So a pivotal region win tonight here for Model on their home floor. Here's how it breaks down individually in terms of scoring for the Bremen Lady Devils. They would pick up 5 points from C.C. Redding, 4 points from Marley Derringer, also 7 points for Shelby Underwood, 5 for Savannah Langley, 5 for Daily Sheets, and then their leading scorer with 8 points would be Kaylin Hubbard. Meanwhile, for the victorious Model Lady Devils, 2 points for Addie Mathis, 1 point for Sasha Wood, 6 points for Eva Pointer, 2 points for Samantha Betts, 4 for Jada Wells, and the 2 leading scorers tonight here for the Model Lady Devils with 9 was Georgia Womack, who played a big role in Model's win tonight. And then with 13 points, the leading scorer overall in the game was Cam Sanders, who picked up 13 points, spread out fairly evenly over the course of the 4-quarter basketball game. So again, just great effort tonight by both teams, but the victors tonight are the Model Lady Devils. 37-34 is your final score. We're going to send it back to the studio for a 3-minute timeout. We're going to take a 5-minute timeout so they can reset the video for the boys stream. So we'll take a 5-minute timeout down the line. We'll come back. We'll get you set up for the boys game. It's the Model Blue Devils and the Bremen Blue Devils coming up in just a little bit. 5-minute timeout. We'll be right back.